You, how are you feeling for the warmth and everything? Okay.
At Cape Town's Skip's Cop Reef, 62 feet below the surface, a calm dive in perfect seas suddenly became a predator encounter when a diver locked eyes with a great white shark just 3 feet away. Before moving forward, please consider subscribing to the channel. Johann Potgieter and his team descended in poor visibility with spear guns ready when a massive great white appeared without warning, fixing the diver with a cold, unblinking stare. The diver jabbed the shark with his spear gun, forcing it back, but the shark continued to circle with clear intent. When the shark dropped its pectoral fins and charged, a second defensive strike sent it thrashing away. The diver made an emergency ascent with dangerously low air and realized the shark was following him upward in a rare stalking pursuit.
White! Pass auf für die White! Hij heeft mij amper gevreed.
As he broke the surface, yelling warnings, Eric rushed to start the boat while Francois surfaced moments later, still unaware of the danger beneath him. The team escaped by fleeing 8 miles offshore, knowing they had survived one of the closest calls of their lives.
The man we see descending into the earth is Ed Sorensen, a world-renowned cave diver known for his rescues of lost or trapped divers. Ed follows the yellow navigational line that guides the divers through the dark, narrow spaces that make up the underwater cave.
British cave diver Josh, a hero of the Thai boys' rescue, lost his guideline inside 400 feet of dark, murky tunnels, and after 8 search dives, his team was unable to find him. Ed Sorensen flew in at 2:30 in the morning, believing the mission would only be a body recovery, and descended along a yellow line into the narrow cave with 0 visibility, hugging the walls and checking every crevice.
Ed follows the yellow navigational line that guides the divers through the dark, narrow spaces that make up the underwater cave. He explores every possible space within the 400-foot cave system, looking for the trapped diver.
Nearly an hour into the dive, Ed's flashlight caught a strange shimmer in the water that hinted at an air pocket, and when he surfaced, he found Josh alive, staring back at him in shock.
How you feeling? Ed Sorensen. You, how are you feeling for the warmth and everything? Okay. Let's get out of here and go have something to eat. And the only problem is, when we get on my line, be real careful not to knock that off or we're in big trouble.
Ed asked how he was feeling, and Josh answered weakly, as neither of them had expected a survivor. Knowing that losing the white guideline would mean certain death, Josh held on tightly as they moved together through the tunnel inch by inch while the surface team waited in silence, holding their breath.
Outside of the cave, local authorities and the lost divers' friends are anxiously waiting for Ed to return.
In December 1994, 20-year-old thrill-seeker Dion Dreyer joined legendary diver Nuno Gomes during a record attempt at Bushman's Hole. While ascending from 50 meters, Dion likely blacked out from oxygen toxicity or carbon dioxide buildup and fell silently back into the depths. His body sank to 270 meters, buried deep in thick silt, while only his helmet was later recovered by a submersible.
I mean, a lot of people say, what do you want with it? It's a bag of bones. To me, it's not a bag of bones, it's my son. I don't care what's inside that wetsuit. To me, that's not important. It's my son.
For 10 long years, his parents, Theo and Marie, lived in constant pain, holding on to the hope that it was still their son waiting below, not just remains.
Wasn't very steep, and when I saw the body over on to my left, I thought, oh, well, that's the end of going deep. So just tied my line to it, and by then I was, well, we won't discuss that. So I just left my line.
On October 28, 2004, Dave Shaw descended on a rebreather to a record depth of 271 meters. Where 15 to 20 meters off the main line, he discovered Dion's preserved body in a wetsuit, fins, and mask, with the tanks buried in mud.
I would guess that the body is between 15 and 20 meters from the line.
Shaw makes a promise to Dreya's parents. He'll bring them their son's body.
After the dive, Dave calmly said he had tied his line to the body. Guilt stayed with him, and he promised Dion's family that he would bring him home. What began as a mission of closure slowly turned into an obsession, despite warning signs like unfamiliar helmet cameras and heavy, untested gear.
Please, divers, you've got 10 minutes. That means you've got 7.
It takes days to prepare the site. Specialised medics are on standby.
When I first discovered him, I tried to lift him up, but found that he was very firmly stuck in the mud. Well, not actually his body, but his tanks that were on his back, they were in the mud. So the first thing I have to do when I reach him is remove him from his tanks. When I place him into a body bag, what we've done...
On January 8, 2005, Bushman's hole felt like a war zone. Police divers, medics, and Defense Force teams staged gas cylinders at every depth. Dave's wife, Anne, sewed a silk body bag to reduce drag in the water.
Shaw's descent will be fast. Following a pre-installed drop line, he should reach the bottom of the cave within 13 minutes. He'll then follow the thin cave line he had previously attached to Dreya's body. He has 5 minutes to put the body into the body bag.
Dave's best friend, Don Shirley, planned the dive with strict timing: 13 minutes down, 5 minutes to recover the body, and a 12-hour ascent with handoffs above 220 meters. A helmet camera was set to capture record-breaking depth footage. Before entering the water, Dave shook hands with Don and said everything was good. On the surface, the team grew tense, knowing every decompression stop had to be perfect, because one mistake would mean never coming back. As Dave descended into the darkness, the surface team tracked his progress by time, depth, and the faint movement of bubbles rising through the water. Minutes passed, then longer stretches of silence, and the expected signals never came. The schedule slipped, the line showed no movement, and the radios stayed quiet, slowly turning concern into certainty. When the bubbles stopped and the line stayed still, everyone on the surface understood the same truth. Dave Shaw was not coming back. What happened next would only become clear later, through the words of the man who was closest to Dave that day. Don Shirley, in this video, describe what happened under the water.
Now, Dave's working hard. He's jogging. He's like jogging on the surface. So he's actually breathing quite heavily at 270 meters. Happening. Right, getting ready for the body. Okay, They will be able to see Dion now. There's Dion's legs. Now things are not to plan because the body is loose. It's not in the it's no longer stuck in the mud. Everything is loose. The body's moving around with its cylinders. Dave's working hard trying to work out what to do next. He's still checking all the gauges. He's breathing heavy, he's working hard.
At the bottom, nearly 270 meters down, Dave's breathing became heavy as he confirmed that he could see the legs and that the plan was still holding. Dion's body began to lift, made buoyant by decay, but the recovery bag slipped and the light became tangled in the guideline, forcing Dave to stop and free it once before losing his footing on the soft silt slope.
Moving out of the way, still got a nice bright light. Moving up. Now, we can't put the bag over, so it's a case of just untangling the cylinders from the line here. You see, rushing, trying to get these scissors to cut. Because we were going to cut it out of the cylinders, but now everything is loose. This is a very sloping bottom, so Dave slipped here. Again, now he's coming back to the body. And you can see he's checking, making sure everything's right with his time. Time's getting short now. The time is nearly to the point where he needs to leave. All the time checking, making sure he's okay, working at the same time. There's the line. This is a line we were worried about being loose, and there it is loose. Okay, we've now come to the end of our time now, and it's time to leave. Dave's decided he's going to leave. All on plan, everything's right. He's still working hard, everything's right. He's leaving.
As time drained away, Dave reached for his shears but did not cut the line, reporting instead that he was trapped and breathing hard while narcosis slowly clouded his judgment.
Okay. He's working hard trying to untangle himself. You can see the bag. Now, he's breathing very hard. It's getting quite difficult to do things. Dave's breathing would be getting quite heavy as he's trying to work his way out. And slowly, Dave would start to become incoherent, and then he would stop.
Above him, Dawn searched from 220 meters, became disoriented, and began vomiting underwater. While on the surface, the team realized with growing panic that Dave was not coming back.
Ja, met die cameras nog aan. Ja. En onder hom hang nog 'n ding. Dit lyk soos 'n twinplek. So dit lyk definitief 'n hele liggaam met wetsuit liggaam.
Against the ceiling, and Dion was dangling. Actually, the cave line, it's a cave reel that we use, the line, was caught up in Dion's body, all over his body, and Dave's torch caught the line. And that was the only thing holding Dion to Dave.
Both bodies were found tangled just 20 meters below the surface, with Dave pinned against the ceiling of the cave and Dion trailing behind him, still connected by the line and torch. The promise to bring Dion home was kept, but only in death. The recovered footage revealed Dion's goggles fixed in a haunting stare during the final struggle, and Anne later whispered that Dave had stayed true to his word.
God, for fuck's sake. Surely that fucker can see me. That fucker definitely can see me now, so that fucker's got to be able to see. Oh no, driving the wrong way. Oh, spotlight. That'll fucking help, mate. You're driving the wrong fucking way.
The rescue plane passes overhead for the second time, and Jacob Childs watches it disappear into the orange sky without seeing him, and he knows his chances are running out fast.
The sun's going down. I'm trying to chase after a trawler for about an hour, but obviously I couldn't keep up. So that's it. If the sun goes down, they won't do nothing. That's a wrap on old Jakey.
Speaking into his waterproof camera with a tired, scratchy voice, Just 6 hours ago, he thought this would be a normal diving trip. In July 2016, Jacob Childs went on a group diving trip off the coast of Queensland, Australia. He was waiting to be the second to last person to dive, and the boat had stopped about 35 miles away from land. That's roughly 56 kilometers of open ocean in every direction. Just 1 minute after Jacob jumped into the water, the diving rope slipped out of his hands. He wasn't worried at first. He figured he'd just swim back up to the boat and grab the rope again. But when he came back to the surface, he saw that someone had already pulled the rope back onto the boat. Before he could do anything about it, a strong ocean current grabbed him and started pulling him away from the boat. Even worse, the boat captain had decided to leave and go fishing while everyone was underwater. By the time the other divers came back up and realized Jacob was missing, he'd already drifted so far away that nobody could see him anymore. He was completely alone in the middle of the ocean, 35 miles from land. The water around Jacob was about 20 degrees Celsius. It wasn't cold enough to make him pass out right away, but it was definitely cold enough to slowly steal his body heat, making him weaker and more tired with every minute that passed. The sun was already starting to go down, which meant the water would only get colder as night came. Jacob knew he couldn't just try to swim to shore. Swimming 35 miles in the ocean without knowing which way to go would be impossible. He'd get too tired halfway through and drown. When he saw a fishing boat far away, he tried swimming toward it for a while.
My trawler. Well, you probably can't see that, but I fucking almost got it. I was about 50 meters from it and I stopped because the plane went overhead. It's pretty fucked now, chasing that trawler. Oh.
But the boat was just too far away, and Jacob realized he'd waste all his energy trying to reach it. He also knew that if he swam too far from where he got separated, the rescue teams wouldn't know where to look for him. So Jacob made a hard choice. He decided to just stay in one spot, move as little as possible to save energy, and wait for someone to find him. As the hours went by, he took out his camera and started recording messages to his family, thinking he might not make it.
Oh, fucking hold up. I can hear a helicopter now. She's back. Here's me plane. Coming in hot. Put the GoPro in the water. I don't think I'm a fuck with it.
Heard a rescue plane coming, his heart started racing with hope. He waved his bright inflatable marker above his head as hard as he could, trying to get their attention. The plane flew right over him, so close he could see the bottom of it clearly. For a moment, he thought he was saved. But the plane just kept going without slowing down or turning around, and the sound of its engine slowly faded away. Then the plane came back around for another try, flying even closer this time. Jacob waved and shouted, even though he knew they couldn't hear him from that far up.
God, for fuck's sake. Surely that fucker can see me. That fucker definitely can see me now, so that fucker's got to be able to see. Oh no, driving the wrong way. Oh, spotlight. That'll fucking help, mate. Oh, plane's onto him. Spinning around. There she is.
But again, the plane just flew past him and disappeared. You could see how frustrated Jacob was, but he knew from his diving training that getting angry or panicking would just make things worse. The salty ocean water splashing in his mouth was already making him extremely thirsty, and every breath hurt his throat. Jacob forced himself to breathe slowly, stay as still as possible, and save whatever strength he had left.
Well, going down.
As the sun kept dropping lower and lower toward the water, turning the sky orange and purple, Jacob said the words that showed just how bad his situation was. Once the sun went down completely, his bright orange marker wouldn't be visible anymore in the dark water, and the rescue teams would probably stop searching until morning. The big question Jacob kept thinking about was simple and scary. Could he stay alive that long in cold water that was slowly draining all the warmth from his body? 6 whole hours had passed since he got separated from the boat, 6 hours of floating alone, feeling himself getting weaker and weaker as the cold and thirst wore him down.
Have a fucking gaze at this. Oi! Oh no, that is that's a rescue helicopter over there.
Then Jacob heard a different sound, not the steady hum of an airplane, but the loud chopping sound of helicopter blades. This time, finally, they spotted him. His lips were cracked and bleeding from the salt water. His body temperature had dropped way too low, and he was badly dehydrated, but he was alive. Doctors said Jacob would be okay and wouldn't have any lasting damage, but he came incredibly close to becoming just another person who disappeared into the ocean and was never found. In May 2013, 28-year-old photographer Jacob Cockle went to Carnsue Pool at Hale Estuary in Cornwall, where the tide was already forming a powerful whirlpool. As the cameraman filmed him strapping on his gear, Jacob acknowledged how strong the pull was, then entered the water anyway.
Filming now and it's all in focus. If it goes out of focus, just press that button halfway down. Best thing to do is strap it round like that, but I've got to jump in straight away because it's going to go any minute. So you just press that halfway down to focus. You just wrap this around your wrist a few times. So that's halfway down to focus. That would be cool. So to focus, and it's already filming, so that's all you have to do.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to go be a
So I don't have to do anything now?
No, no. Just work the angles, baby. Work the angles.
Okay, go on then. Trouble is, I didn't bring my glasses, did I?
Jacob laughed as the current spun him at first, while glowing underwater shots made the vortex look beautiful rather than dangerous. When the cameraman hinted they had enough footage, Jacob brushed it off, took the camera himself, and pushed on.
Oh, that was good.
They discuss this can be dangerous if one cannot control. This is scary.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's all good.
Good.
Yeah, it's a very powerful one tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, earlier on it was scary. It's really scary.
It still is.
It's fine now because it's so deep you can kind of control it. When I first got in, I was a bit scared, to be honest.
Yeah.
During the third dive, Jacob warned that the current felt powerful and had already been frightening earlier. Yet, despite those warnings, he still turned back and continued the dive. As the whirlpool tightened its grip, the strongest surge struck like a final warning, spinning Jacob out of control while he continued to ignore every sign to stop. The cameraman urged him to get out again, saying he reckoned they had enough footage, but Jacob's earlier laughter faded as the wind picked up and the danger closed in.
Yeah, it's really similar to surfing, just flowing with it. That was pretty scary.
You got enough?
I should really make the most of it. I don't know what else to do. I think it's gonna go in a minute. I can feel it dropping down.
But he decided to go for one final plunge, signaling that he wanted just one more underwater shot, even as the current around him began to surge harder than before, twisting his body and forcing him to fight against the spin while his horse head mask bobbed erratically in the water, making it increasingly difficult to stay oriented.
Did you pass me the pole of the camera? So I think it's gone now. Let's just go round. One last bit underwater footage on the day.
As he descended, the vortex beneath him grew stronger, pulling him deeper and swallowing what little light remained, until the camera dipped suddenly, the footage fell silent, and he never resurfaced. Hours later, his body was found face down in the water, confirming what those watching had already begun to fear. And while toxicology reports later showed traces of ketamine in his system, investigators ruled the death accidental, pointing instead to the overwhelming force of the whirlpool